everybody. Good to have you here. Thank you for your time. I really do appreciate it. I know everybody is busy. I know you've got things that you could or should be doing, but you're taking time out to spend around about 15 minutes with me. So I really do appreciate that. And I will do my level best to make sure that the time that you do spend is well spent. And we come up with some good ideas and ways in which you can grow your coaching business, because that's what it's about. Today's session is entitled How to Grow Your Coaching Business. Just to clarify, we are live now on 3 platforms. We're live on LinkedIn, we're live on Facebook, and we're live on YouTube. And that for me, I think is really cool that I can, do it once and benefit from it 3 times. But not only that, what's really important, I think, about doing these types of things is that certainly as a coach, you've got marketing collateral. This video will be there for me to use in 6 months' time, and I'll be able to share it on all those platforms. People will be looking at it again and again and again. And, I think as a coach, learning and understanding how to do, basically a similar thing to what I'm doing now is certainly one of the ways that I'd be suggesting that you look to grow your business. So, this is definitely helping me. Basically, what I'm doing is I do these LinkedIn lives. I get people to come along. I follow up and offer a meeting with them. Some of them take that up, some of them don't. And out of the ones that do, some of them book to hire me to advise them. They join my results mastery program, or perhaps they need some marketing done for them and they'll outsource it to us. So that's the way this works. And potentially that's a way that you could grow your business. But let me talk a little bit more about that, growing this coaching business. Firstly, I heard a terrible statistic the other day, which really prompted me to do this, actually, to be honest. And that is that the average amount of money that a coach earns is less than £35,000 a year. I couldn't believe that. You guys who are coaches, and I include myself in this, we're highly skilled people. We spent a lot of time. I've been doing this 28 years. I've spent thousands on my own education, somewhere around about 150 grand, and many, many thousands of hours learning and training myself and making sure that my knowledge is cutting edge. And for some people to earn that sort of money is just absolutely abysmal. And if you think about it, there are coaches out there who earn $1 million, $2 million, 10 million. I mean, the number one in our industry, probably Tony Robbins, reputedly earns 7 million a year. Sorry, I got that wrong. 7 billion a year with a B. Now, obviously, that's not enough to live on, but it's not a bad start, is it? I could just about survive on that, I think. But anyway, in all seriousness, we need to basically, I think, my message is certainly you got to get better at selling. That's ultimately it. As a coach, there are only 2 ways you can grow your business. When I say grow your business, I mean increase your profit. One is to reduce your costs, and you could do that. I'm sure if you sat down at the end of today and thought, right, what can I save? Where can I make some savings? You'd be able to make 5%, 10%, perhaps even 20% reduction in your costs, which would be a good thing to do. That would give you 20% more profit in your business. Having said that, that's a limit, isn't it? There's only so much you can save. You've got to spend something. And even if you don't spend anything at all, you're still limited to the amount of sales that you've currently got. So that said, what I'm going to talk to you today about is how to increase sales, because that's really, I believe, where it all starts. And it starts with one of the biggest problems that all businesses have got, not just coaches or consultants, but all businesses. When I say all, I mean all small businesses. And that is one word, and that word is obscurity. We're all suffering from obscurity. Nobody knows us. You know, unless you're a Nike or a Vodafone or perhaps a Tony Robbins. I mean, Tony's only known in the coaching and advisory world. If Tony Robbins walked down the street, even in America, you know, he's not going to get thousands of people coming up to him. I don't think. Certainly in the UK, if he goes into his community, he's very much known and admired and so on and so forth. But if he was just walking down the street in London, he might pick up the odd person going, "Oh, Tony Robbins, nice to meet you." But generally speaking, the general population wouldn't know him. So. Oh, yes. So if we're going to overcome obscurity, what we've got to do is more. We've got to do more. One of the biggest problems I see with coaches is they don't do enough. They don't do enough social media. They don't do enough email marketing. They don't spend enough on advertising. They don't get their name out there enough. I always remember somebody, I can't remember who it was, recited to me. Do you know what? I think it was Peter Thompson. Some of you may know Peter. He's quite a successful consultant. Somebody I've learned quite a lot from over the years. And he said, "He who whispers down the well will not," hang on, what was it? If I get this right. "He who whispers down a well," do you know, I can't remember it. It's gone. I'm sorry. "He who whispers down a well." I got it. "He who whispers down a well about the things that he can sell will not make those shiny dollars like he who climbs a tree and hollers." Yay! I got it. I knew I had it. Sorry, it's a little bit of an age thing, But anyway. So we've got to sing from the top of the tree. We can't whisper about it down a well. We've got to get our name out there. If I asked you, how many social media posts do you do per day? And people tell me, "Oh, well, about one a week, one a month," I heard the other day. That's like, it's like going down the gym, doing 10 curls and hoping you're going to get fit. It's gonna take a long time of doing that. If you go down the gym once a month and do 10 curls, it just ain't gonna work. So we need, if you speak to people like Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, other leading coaches and consultants in the world, they'll tell you, unless you're posting 15 times a day, you're wasting your time. Now, that for me is a little bit extreme, I think. And arguably it's fine for them to say that because they're, probably got a team of people doing that. But I think, my level is somewhere between 5 and 10 posts every single day. And I think you should be doing that. I really do. The other thing I think you should be doing, if you've not already done, is get that email list sorted and get messages out to people. There is no better way, even with all the technology and you name it now, than getting an email list and keeping in touch with your customers, with your past customers, with your prospects, even with your team, than email marketing. So you should really be doing that. And then, getting yourself out networking. One of the, if you've ever read Robert Cialdini's book, Influence, the Science of Persuasion, he talks in there about positioning. He talks about authority. He says one of the keys to being successful, to being a good influencer, is to position yourself as the person of authority. Let me just show you this as well. This is a brilliant book. You may have come across this. Daniel Priestley, How to Become a Key Person of Influence. You can see mine. It's just full of comments. Look there. Do you see all that? All the comments in there, all highlighted for me. I've read that several times. It's a great book on how you can become a key person of influence. So that, I think, is another great tip. Go and buy that book and look at Daniel's 5 keys to becoming more successful. I strongly recommend you take a look at that. So what have I covered. I've covered obscurity. One word that I'd like to cover, and that word is focus. You know, if you think about it, going back to what I said at the beginning, if you're going to become more successful, then you're going to need to focus time, money, and effort on sales and marketing, becoming better. You got to become better. If you want a better business, it's not about becoming a better coach. You know, there are great coaches who don't do very well, and there are reasonable coaches who are great at marketing and selling what they do, and they do fantastically well. Now, you could argue, well, that's not fair, is it? But it is the way it is. If you become really, really good at selling and marketing, then you will be really, really successful as a coach. And if you don't, you won't. It's as simple as that. So you need to get yourself some training. Whatever level you're at now in terms of your sales and marketing knowledge, if I asked you on a scale of 1 being awful to 10 being brilliant, where would you rate yourself? With 5 being like an average, typical coach or business owner, where would you rate yourself in terms of your knowledge of how to improve your website's conversion rate, how to get traffic to your website, your use of LinkedIn, your use of Facebook and perhaps Instagram, your use and knowledge of YouTube and how you're going to use that, your ability to do a LinkedIn Live or Facebook Live or YouTube Live session like this, your use of webinars and how to do that. How good are you when you go to a networking event, you stand up and people listen to you while you tell them in your 1 minute of fame what you do and how you do it. You know, all these things are little small areas, but added together, they make a massive difference to your business. And getting better at each and every one of them is absolutely fundamental to your success. It's fundamental. So focus. A really good friend of mine said to me ages ago that focus stands for follow one course until satisfied. Follow one course until satisfied. So go and pick something. You know, it might be LinkedIn, might be getting more traffic to your website, whatever it is, and really focus on that. Get really good at doing that, whatever that may be. You know, if I said to you right now, do you have a system, a process for winning business from referral, which, by the way, in my opinion, is probably one of the best ways that coaches can win business, by referral. But if your system is to do a good job and hope that they will recommend you, then that will get you a result. But is that the best result? The answer's probably not. If your system was to say, you know, I don't suppose you know anybody else who's interested in what I do you? You know, that's a system, but it's a poor system. You know, I don't suppose you do. It's probably not the most positive way of answering that, you know. So that, I think, is a really important one. One other thing that I wanted to say, and I appreciate I'm just about coming to the end now, but is the old idea of having 3 levels of service. Let me just explain. If you've got coaching clients right now and you call it your ABC coaching program, whatever that is, what you do is you then set up a level of coaching and a service which is above that, and then you go above it one more time. So you might have the ABC method, and then the ABC premium method, and then the ABC platinum method. Now, the ABC method currently is $750 a month. The platinum method is $1,250 a month. And premium method is $1,250 a month. And then the platinum is £2,000 a month. And what you do is you make you add value and charge more for that value. So right now you might do, like, I don't know, for your 750, 2 meetings a month. They also get an open line to you to answer any problems that you may have. They get a monthly newsletter, and you do perhaps a weekly Q&A, something like that. Yeah, you got a variety of things. So then you go to the premium and go, right, okay, what else can I do? Well, I could have a weekly Zoom meeting with all my clients on it as well, so they can basically act like a mastermind group. I could produce some online training so that they could gain access to that. Every week I could go and find an expert in business, interview them, and then send that to them, and so they get that. And then you think of the next level, you know, the platinum group. They get this, perhaps they get a day per month with you, or something like that. You know, you physically either go into their business for a day and spend the day with them, and perhaps something else as well. But you get the idea to offer more for more money. You know, and even if you got them up from the 750 to say 1250, that's a significant growth in your income. If you could get half of them to upgrade to your premium level and get an extra £500 each, and you've got however many clients, then, you know, I think that's a good strategy for you. And last but by no means least, I'd say that as a coach, if you're pretty much doing one-to-one coaching, then the next step for you has got to be to start to think about group coaching, because there are only so many hours in the day. There's only so much energy you've got. There's only so much time you've got. And therefore, there's only so much income you can generate. But with groups, you know, you could have a group of 10 people, a group of 20 people, a group of 100 people. You know, Peter Thompson, I was part of his, he called it his 100 plus group. And the idea was to get 100 people in the room. And I think he charged something like £400 or £500 a month. And they met up once every 2 months. And he had something like, you know, 80 or 90 people when I was a member. You know, you work that out. That's not bad. And then the other thing, you know, is to look at the online world, you know, and start developing online training, online coaching, where people sign up to your coaching program. Okay, it's not, you know, it's not you live. I'm talking about recording now. So that's maybe more of a training program than an actual, you know, personal coaching. But it's a great way of winning business. Again, I met a lady on Peter's program, actually, called Carrie Green, who stood on stage and explained how she developed something called the Female Entrepreneur Association, and how she had 38,000 ladies or women signed up to her program who paid her £35 a month. And I worked that out to be about £1.3 million a month. Yes, a month. Yeah. And that's not a bad way of earning a living, is it? So, you know, and for that she had to constantly update things and so on and so forth. And by the way, just so you know, I've got that myself, not as many as Carrie, but I've got a program called the Results Mastery School, which is actually £25 a month. And so if you're interested in joining that, drop me a line and I'll send you a link so you can watch a video all about it. But other than that, I don't want to keep you too long, as promised. Oh, I've kept you 20 minutes already. Sorry about that. But anyway, thanks ever so much. If you do want to book a meeting with me, no obligation, no hard sell. I'll just talk to you about your business, find out what you're doing from a marketing perspective, try and give you some help. And if at the end you want any more help, I'll tell you how much that's going to cost. Other than that, thanks very much. And don't forget, I'm doing these every day. So please feel free to tune in and listen to the next one. Thanks very much for listening.